Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Reliable HVACR podcast live stream. Yes, we got a second show this week. And in the chat, we got Blogger, we got Randy, Outlaw HVAC, Brian, what's up? Jason, HVAC RMN. I saw Eddie in here. We have the usuals, a whole bunch of good guys. Everybody's rolling in. And today we have a special guest. We have Garret, who is another member of the HVAC Visionaries. And let me bring him on real quick. Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
No problem. How's the weather where you're at?
Hot and humid right now, so
Hot and humid. So you get the humidity part too, because like
uh,
we have to deal with that in Texas.
yeah, we're right off the water, so it gets real humid out here during the summers.
Yeah, man, we're like an hour and a half away from the coast because we have a beach down here and everything. So once we get, it feels nice at the beach if you're really, you have the vacation time, you take the time off and all that, to enjoy it. But other than that, it's like hot, humid, and sticky.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so we have people already rolling in. For anybody listening, Ben's new edition of the magazine came out. You already know. We got the Visionaries. If I can find the page. We got the Visionaries on there. So that whole group is on there. I've had almost everybody. I think I'm just missing Jeff. For anybody that doesn't know or hasn't seen you over on Instagram, can you please just give a quick introduction of who you are and what part of the field that you're in?
So I'm Garrett. Right now I'm pretty much an installer primarily. I do run a little bit of service here and there. But I work for a small company. You know, um, but everything. I primarily do a lot of just air conditioning and heating, not a lot of hydronic work, and not really no refrigeration. But our market's pretty much like a heat pump market, so that's what we kind of primarily focus on.
So you do a lot of installs, residential kind of work. You said you work for a small company, right?
Yeah, we have five guys between all
Yeah,
of
that,
us.
that
Yeah.
sounds that sounds like us. We run a small 4 to 5 man company down here in Texas too, and yeah, I mean small companies. We get it too. We get after it. So you guys, that company does service and install.
Yep. So we have pretty much really, I'm one of the only installers, and we have another guy that kind of bounces back between service and install to help out. Um, so like right now, I mean, I've been slammed. I mean, we've had I think 13 change outs in a row. So I mean,
I can imagine, man. So do you do these installs like? I know you said you're only like 5 guys. So are you out there primarily by yourself with someone else? Is there like there's not really a crew, right?
no. So I have right now. We just added on another helper or apprentice who's been a huge help. That way, I could get the guy that's been with me for the last about 2 years or so on his own a little bit, working on the outdoor equipment and finishing that while I can focus on inside. That's been a
Mhm.
huge help because before it was him and I, and we'd have to knock out the air handler and then try to
Yeah.
get outside, and it would be just a long day, especially if we were doing a full dual fuel system with, all the bells and whistles, and it adds up when you're only two guys. So
Yeah, I get you, man. Because like even right now, we're doing like we don't do fresh installs, right? It's like change outs, upgrading some equipment. Even on the refrigeration side, I had a walk-in freezer that we're updating. I think at one point they had some other company had changed out the condenser, but they left the old evaporator in there, right?
uh,
And they finally started, having issues inside. The coil was already brittle and stuff, so they had us go in there and change that out. And you know, like I said, we're 5 guys. I think right now we're no, technically we're four right now. We don't have our helper right now. And we had it was me and my brother. My dad came by to help a little bit because we're a family business. So trying to knock that out. Um, but we, I'm sure you're the same way. Just by judging, the stuff that you post. We don't rush through it. We try to, we worry about quality. we try to get everything done right, uh, just the best we can, right? We're doing, like myself, we do more change outs than fresh installs. So
Yeah.
uh, I was gonna post about it. I'll probably post about the work that I did, tomorrow, and I was gonna put on there like on the caption, like we're polishing a turd. So to
Yeah.
sometimes you don't get those nice ones, those
Nah.
the fresh installs. You got to work with what you got.
Yeah. Not everything's Instagram worthy. So
I know. I guess you got to think about it sometimes.
yeah.
Which didn't you have something today where you were like was it a crawl space?
Yeah, it was a coil change out in a pretty wet crawl space, so it was just a pretty much direct replacement. We did use a
Yeah.
couple of RLS fittings there, um, but nothing nothing too crazy. Just getting them back cooling and up and running for the summer.
Yeah, that's I mean, like you said, not everything's Instagram worthy, but it's also good to show that kind of side of work just so that people know that it's not all like uh clean work or
Yeah,
easy or you're in and out and stuff like that. Like I saw what you posted. I'm like, oh crap, I wouldn't want to be him.
no, no. It was almost a little morale defeating, but at the end of it, it's over. It's
But you feel very accomplished when you finish something like that. You get it over with.
oh yeah, you're glad it's over, So
Speaking of RLS, I've seen you post about them, like using them. How has that helped you out in the field? Like, how long have you been using RLS?
so actually, I used it originally with the first company I started out with, which for my area nobody really has been using them, and they got me started using them. And then when I switched companies, I was like one of the like deals. I was like, well, I press everything, and he was like, the boss I have now, he was like, press like
Yeah.
refrigeration press, and I was like, yeah, refrigeration press. So he bought Milwaukee like press tool and the RLS jaws, and that was there when I like switched companies. Um, so it's just been a huge help. Like recently, I've been trying to just not even take the torches up in the attic anymore. I'll prefab everything down outside and just go up there with two couplings and press it in and come back down. Um, that way too, if I mean we're running one truck, I only have one set of torches between us, and I can let my apprentice take them and go outside, and he can worry about flowing nitrogen, and I can just press and not
Oh
even have to
yeah.
worry. I don't even have to talk to him about it. He can just do his thing. I can do mine, and we're.
Yeah, because so you basically got your new company into it now, and they kind of did it. You brought that to their attention because not a lot of people even know about it. And then the people that do know about it are like just super scared to use it, or they're like, oh, it leaks, and they haven't even like tried it out or seen any of the testing. Which if you follow any of, because one good thing or one thing that RLS does really well is their Instagram. They have the marketing team. They have Paul that's always on there showing that they're testing these for vibrations and pressure, high pressures, and even like showing like the ones that he gets in, I guess for the warranty, the ones that he gets returned or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, technically it was user error. You just got to be careful with the O-rings and stuff like that. But so that's kind of cool that you brought it over to your company and now you've been using that like no issues. I assume you've been using it for a while, right?
Yes, I've been using it probably about 4 years now.
Okay.
I mean, I know there's some guys out there that have been using it since it's been out, but
It's been around for quite a while. Yeah.
yeah, so I've only been using it the last 4 years, but it's been a huge help. We still flare things here and there, but
Hmm.
press is kind of our go-to for our connections now.
Yeah, and that's good because when I was looking into it, and I'll be honest, like I wouldn't say I was super skeptical, but I was like, okay, it's something new that I don't know, and I want to know more about it. So being able to see everybody on Instagram, like, well, now I see you using it, but like I saw Jeff, Jadem,
Hmm.
Michael Flynn, all those other guys, and I asked them, I was like straight up, like, how long have you been using it, and have you had any issues? And they were like, no, we've been using it for a long time, and the stuff doesn't leak. uh, and I'm able to talk to people, but I want to know that those guys that have been using it for years and years, what's their experience. And so far, I think I've been using it a little less than a year, but a lot of my fittings are going like on 6 to 8 months. And, we service a lot of the same buildings and stuff. So I'm there maybe for another call, and then I'll go and look over. I'm like, hey, did anything happen? Still working? I never got a call back or anything. So I just
Yeah.
want to make sure.
Yeah.
And so far, so good, right? 6 to 8 months, no leaks. I actually had one that leaked out, or two, but one was a push fitting because I was trying those out too from the other one, Zoom Lock.
Yep.
So a lot of the time, something else will leak when I get called back, and I'm like, I have that mini heart attack. Like, oh,
Yep.
did something happen? But it's never
Yep.
the fitting. You got to make sure you do the prep right. Follow the instructions. I know RLS has that little online training thing. Just make sure you know what you're doing. But that's like with anything.
Yeah, my biggest thing is just, I mean, if you're not in a rush, dude, take your time with the prep. Like, you can never really over prep it. So,
Exactly.
um,
Um, we had a question. One of the first questions I'm going to ask you is from somebody over on Instagram, and he's like, "How much does he love Jeffy Pipes?"
was
So
it
he had to chime
Brian?
in. Have you worked with him, or who is it that you
Who,
worked with?
Jeff? So yeah, I met Jeff and Brian and Alex and all them down in
It, wa- it
Atlanta
was
last.
it was Jeff, by the way.
It was Jeff, by the
Yeah.
way. No, so I met all them down in Atlanta, and me and Jeff and Brian kind of just clicked. And when I came back up to Maryland, Jeff lives in White Plains, so he's not too far from me. It's about 3 hours, 3.5. And he had like a job coming up, a big hydronic job, and he was doing an air handler too. And he asked me to come up to do the hydronic work with him, and I was like, shoot, why not? I'd have work off still, so I drove up there for the day. We went and banged out, just piped out a two-zone little boiler, and then I headed back. But I went up there one other time, and we did that furnace. I don't know if you've seen that furnace AC
Yeah.
coil with like the lights and stuff. But no, we just it's just been a friendship kind of formed after that. But
So y'all met in Atlanta for the first time?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I went down to Atlanta not knowing anybody.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
ended up staying with it was Jeff, Brian, it was Alex, Ben HVAC Strong,
Hmm.
Luis HVAC 562, I think it is. A few other
Oh,
guys, and
yeah, you were
I was just like
okay.
kind of starstruck almost that Flynn was there. And I was just kind of like sitting there like, all right, I'm just gonna mind my own off to the side here.
Okay, so you were in that group. Were you all the ones that crashed over at
No,
Angels? Or not
oh
crashed, but you showed up at Angels?
no,
No?
no,
Somebody,
no.
Angel, HVAC
That was
boss.
the group. That was the
It
group.
was that group, right?
Shav was with them, right? Was
Oh,
Shav
yeah,
with
yeah,
them?
yeah.
Yeah, I think he might have shown up. But yeah, I think they came over to our place one night too. But no, I just met all them guys down there, and then I remember just coming back from there, and I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna post some different work. I mean, after seeing all them guys and just stuff that they're putting out, just it's crazy work. So you just try to do your part and try to
Yeah.
do what you can do. But
And I feel like after that whole award show, I keep telling this to everybody, or I've had discussions, and it's like after that award show, everybody came back, wanting to post and level up. And it's been great for the HVAC community. There's a whole bunch of content, from guys that, like yourself, you said you were posting, now you're posting more, and now you're posting um, some of that stuff. And it's great. Other people see the pride and what you can do when you take your time and work, not worry about like rushing, and you go into that quality aspect of it. And it's great because like myself getting into this trade, there wasn't a lot of people like that, or that I've seen. Now back then, like, I would have to see somebody in person doing that. Now it's a little easier because you can see people from all over the nation doing incredible work, and it's like, man, I want to do something like that. And then you start going out there and trying those things, or trying to replicate, what they're doing. And it's awesome.
No, yeah, it's been pretty good. The community's pretty great. Everyone's super helpful, and
Yeah. So we had some guys asking about your background a little bit. So how long have you been in the HVAC trade?
so I'm coming up on 5 years now. Um, I just got my journeyman's license last March, so I tested for that last March. So I think I'll be coming up to take my master's, I guess, next March. Um, and then I'll kind
Yeah,
of be done.
every state is different, because like we don't have that here, but we do have a contractor's license. So it's like I want to say 4 years experience under a contractor, and then you can go out on your own and take the test and do all that.
Yeah, I thought Maryland was pretty easy because I just have to work under a master for so many years and then I could test out. But I know some states, they want in school, like they want you taking classroom, studies and stuff during your apprenticeship. And
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I was gonna say some states don't even require it, which still blows my mind. Like there's some states where anybody can just pick up some gauges and go out there and
huh,
say that they're qualified.
it's pretty scary. Yeah.
Yeah, there should be like a nationwide type of deal, but I guess not. So you've been in there almost 5 years. How did you get started in the trade, and what kind of got you into it?
So, I was at a community college coming up on my last year, my associates, and I wanted to get a different, like another summer job. I worked at a golf course for all through high school and a little bit and through college, and I just, wanted something else. So I got it as a summer job, just thinking, I'd be in there for a few months and then, just be done with it. Summer job just turned into me not wanting to go back to school and just staying with the work. It was just a lot different for me. It was a lot of like it was a lot more hands-on. It was just I was in school, like I was a good student and stuff. I was just more so lost, like still not knowing what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
And then when I kind of found this, and I don't know, I just really took like a real interest for it, and I always thought it was a little funny or weird. But I just kind of, just ran with it, I guess, and you know, 6 months turned into a year turned into 3 years, and then it just kind of it's treated me well. Like I can't complain. I mean, there are some some rough days in this trade, but like today, but
yeah,
it's all worth it at the end, I think, and it's nice to have a an end result when you're done with a project or
yeah.
or a problem and you end up solving the issue and it's a good feeling, I think.
And that's one of the things that people always bring up. When we talk about it, like how they got into it and then their interest in it. There's that rewarding feeling at the end of the day. When you finish an install or a call. You figure something out, or you kind of take a step back and look at what you've done. And that's one of the best things about the trade is there's that feeling all the time. You get it every day, basically.
No, you're right. No, it's just like and then too, like I never really wasn't super like handy or I wasn't like mechanically inclined, I guess you would say, growing up. So the trades honestly really showed me a lot of stuff. So like I mean I bought my house last year and I mean I had to do so much here and honestly like a lot of the stuff translates. Your
Yeah.
plumbing translates a lot. A lot of the simple things that honestly I would have been lost in the mud beforehand, but honestly it's kind of helped me out. Just being better all around a little bit.
Yeah, and like I've had interest here and there, like fixing things, and being I was more into like electronic stuff before, like fixing electronics. I even did that on the side for a while. When I started, I was doing like phone repairs and laptop repairs and stuff. Um, so there was always that interest. But even like when I started in this trade, I was a helper for my dad. he doesn't do HVAC. He does like the hot food side, so fryers, stoves, and all that kind of equipment. So I was a helper for him, right? And then like we had, I think like he had a brother that worked with us too, and I used to just be the helper, like whoever needed help or running parts, whatever. And my dad would check in with him, and he's like, "How's Adrian doing? Like, how's he learning and this and that?" And I would get like I wouldn't get the best reports all the time, right? It'd be like, "Well, he's a little slow, he's not mechanically inclined and this and that," and that kind of got to me. So I was like, "No, I'm gonna be better." So definitely, I was not as handy as I was when I started. But like you said, now it translates to other things, right? I fix things around the house. I work on my car a lot more now too. All this stuff translates because, as we like to say, it's the king of the trades. We do a little plumbing, we do a little electrical. We handle a lot of different things in this trade, as anything from residential to industrial. There's a whole world out there where we're doing like so many different things, and it helps, like you said, you get to do stuff around the house now. You get to do and all of us, I think, are quick learners too, and all that helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I do think it's the king of the trades a little bit. You get to do a little bit of everything. A little bit of plumbing. That I had someone ask me about it the other day. He was thinking about getting into electrical or HVAC, and I was just like,
Hmm.
you get to do a little bit of everything, doing HVAC, but it's what you want to do at the end of the day, but it's you can't go wrong with this trade.
Yeah, and that's one thing. Like me too. Like I get bored pretty easily. I don't like being in the same spot all the time or every day. So that's another thing that this trade brings is something different every day. Every day you can travel, you can see something new. You're always learning. So all that helps me not get bored or frustrated with what I'm doing and all that. Um, we have Angel from HVAC Boss in the chat. Did he ask a question? I didn't see a question. He keeps raising his hand in the chat. All he said was plumbing. I don't know. If you have a question, Angel, go ahead and ask it. You don't have to raise your hand. Let me see. So, uh, so you switched companies. You said so. Did you just work for that one company, and then this is like your second one,
Yeah,
or
so
okay?
I worked for that one company about it was a little under 3 years. And just I just we just kind of went our separate ways. Just a little bit different opportunities that I needed to kind of take advantage of. So
Sure.
that's what I had to do. But the one thing that I will say, like that company that taught me originally, um, taught me everything kind of, and I want to say it like the HVAC tactical mindset almost like the quality of work was there, all the
Hmm.
extra, the certain, it came down to your materials you use, like everything was, specific, but it also on the backside of that was they were very, very critical of,
Yeah,
how
that's a
things
good
were
that's a
done,
good thing.
so they were very critical. So, that sharpened me, you know, but, it was a little hard to work under sometimes, being young because, you're still trying to learn and then you're being thrown into things. But, sometimes that's the best way to learn. And,
Yeah, and like it's kind of hard being young in the trade too. Like you're trying to learn as much as you can, and then like with I don't know, like with me, I was trying not to step on any toes either because I went to school and I tried even out of school. I was trying to learn what I could, reading manuals, looking up or researching, the stuff that I was working on because a lot of the times I had to learn on the fly. But like
mhm.
it's like a balance, right? You want to learn the good habits, not the bad habits, and then you want to not step on any toes and this and that because being young in the trade, they probably think that we don't know anything, but you know how that goes. You're still there.
Oh,
You're
I get
24,
it.
right?
Yeah, I'm 24. I'll be 25 next week, actually.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
But yeah, I had a lady last Friday. That's the first thing she said. She's like, "You boys look way too young," because my apprentice is 19, so it's me and a
Oh
night
wow.
night. So like we look really young. I'm like, I
Yeah,
promise you're in good hands. Just give me and no, she ended up calling my boss later that night and just was super happy with everything and so
that's awesome,
that's
man. I
yeah
had that. I had the same thing because I work with my brother too. He went to school as soon as he could out of high school. He got a little of a quicker introduction to it because I was already doing it. But um, same look, right? They're like, "Who's this? Like, who? You're gonna fix our equipment? You're here to work?" I had to go through that too. It's a hard one when you start out.
nah so it's fine you just show them by your work though. That's all you can do.
Yeah, just your work speaks for itself. That's
Yeah.
what I always tell people. Like,
Yeah.
don't worry about anything else. Just do your work.
Yeah.
Worry about the quality and what you're putting out there, and you'll be good. Angel HVAC boss. I was doing dinner when you called, bro, and then I had the show. Uh, and I've told you to come on before. Well, he's been on the show before, but I told him he can come back on, and he keeps saying that I don't let him on. But just wanted to address him real quick. He's over here starting a riot in the chat.
That's funny.
Uh, let's tune in tomorrow with HVAC Tactical. I guess I have something going on tomorrow. All right. Well, we'll tune in. We want to know how to be a millionaire. He's over there.
Yeah.
Have you met him, Angel?
Have I? No, I have not.
He was up there in Atlanta. Um, he has a really big company over in California, so he wants to share his knowledge on how to be a millionaire. So we'll see. All right, let me look through the chat real quick. Oh yeah, so you said you worked for the other company, you switched over to the one that you're at now. So you learned everything at the on the job basically?
Yep, everything was
Yeah,
on the job. I mean, I did a lot. Don't want to just say it was on the job. I did a lot at home, like YouTube,
sure.
like HVAC school. Um, so like stuff like that's helped me too. But a lot of it's just on the job and that company I did a lot of like Mitsubishi with. So I kind of got into a lot of just learn how to do those systems, which is kind of, I mean, it's not hard or anything, but they're just a little bit different than your just typical systems. And, you just, like anything, you just got to kind of study your manuals a little bit and, you know, get good with them because you don't want to be sitting there looking at the manual the entire install either.
Oh yeah,
So,
man, that's the worst. So you did a lot of I guess at home training yourself on your own time, you know, looking up stuff because that's the one thing I tell people nowadays, right? It's so easy to look up stuff. There's like no excuse to find this information, I mean, the easiest thing is to read the manuals on the stuff that you're working on, but you can go online and, like you said, HVAC school, AC service tech. There's a bunch of them that
yeah,
just
yeah,
it's free. You're watching like these classes that I don't want to knock on any of the trades, schools or anything like that, but some of these YouTubers do better than some of the trade schools. I'm just putting that out there. And if you do that on your own time, uh, it shows that you care, and you're gonna. That's the easiest way to level up. Learn on your own time. Never stop learning, and uh, just like yourself, you're doing great things, and it shows.
I appreciate it. Nah, but and then I mean a lot of this stuff too. I mean, I'll see something that someone does on Instagram, and I'll be like I'll
Oh
try that
yeah,
tomorrow. I'm stealing that idea. So like I don't like
like
to say it's stealing
basically,
it, but kind of just I'm gonna borrow that idea. But
yeah, basically like when I see Jeff, Jadam, and Michael Flynn, I'm like, man, I wish I could do that.
yeah, yeah. Every job I feel like they come up with something different. I'm like I wasn't even expecting that, but they definitely got some more tricks up their sleeves, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's very cool to see the people that post like I guess like how they do the stuff, or like the different stuff that they come up with, because like some of that stuff, like even the simplest things, you're like, why didn't I think of that? Or I've never thought of it that way, and it's cool to see that they're actually helping others.
Yeah, no, it's cool though too. Like, I mean, you see a lot of other guys, like, I mean, right around kind of like even my following and stuff that are just doing the same type of like work, and you just see it. I feel like more and more now, and then you see a lot of, especially with the Visionaries thing, you see a lot more of these like new guys just getting into HVAC and making a page too and posting their stuff. So you see a lot of these like entry level guys getting into the trade.
Yeah, it's growing, and that's incredible. Angel wants a close up of the picture. Oh, it's because I have the magazine, the original one behind me.
Yeah.
I have the new one, Angel. So if you want to check that out, Ben on the cover there. Um, yeah. So where was I? Let me look at the questions real quick. So when you started too, you started basically doing install, or because you said you're
Uh,
one of the only ones that do it at your current company, but at the previous one.
so my previous company, I was worked with, there's two brothers, and the one brother kind of ran the service stuff, and it was only me and the two brothers, and I ran, and another younger brother. So I was the only one not in the family, but we ran a lot of like these custom homes that were just very high end custom homes, with kind of like all the extra, either HRVs or ERVs, just a lot of like extra stuff. And it was a lot of new construction though. It wasn't a lot of change out work. The
Oh,
company
okay.
I'm at now is just change out work. We have one builder we kind of do houses for here and there. But I mean, like you said, it's tough to, it's hard to take on those, new installs or the new construction jobs when you're a small company because it's a manpower thing kind of at that point.
I get you. I get you. So mostly doing installs. And you said you do a little bit on call, right?
Yeah, I run on call about once every 3 weeks or so. Not too bad.
Yeah. Oh, Jen's like, where did you get that? Like, it showed up on my doorstep. Maybe it's because I'm on one of the
Uh-oh.
pages,
Yeah,
but yeah,
full
uh,
page.
yeah. I wasn't expecting that. It was really cool of him to just even do the magazine. Honestly, like when have we seen that? Like he's doing things that we've never seen. The whole award show, the magazine. It's like, what's next, right?
Oh yeah. No, I explained to some people at award show and they're like, "What?" I'm like, "No, it was. I mean, it's
Yeah, it's awesome, and I've funny enough, I still have to tell people that even I've seen on guys that I've talked to like on Instagram and even on YouTube because I'm on YouTube a lot. Um, even they were like, "What's that?" and this and that. Like, "Oh, I have to go check it out." I mean, it's growing pretty quick, but it's still making the rounds, and I'm sure what's the next one? Chicago. That one's gonna be even like bigger and better.
Yep. Are you going?"
Yeah, I don't know yet.
He said, "I don't know yet." Uh-oh.
I didn't make any commitments, but yeah. So the whole HVAC visionary. Well, I have questions on Instagram, but I'll get to those in a minute. The whole HVAC visionary thing. So you guys, how did that start? At one point, like I said, I almost have all of you on here. I'm just missing Jeff, and he'll probably be on in a couple of weeks. But I don't know. At some point, I might try and see if like a couple of you, or maybe all of you, if you all have time, come on the show together, and we can see how that goes. But how did that come about? The whole visionary group.
So originally it was gonna be it was Efren, Adam, Anwar, and Jeff. And then Jeff messaged me like one or called me one day randomly and was like, wanted me to do it with him. And I was just like, that's kind of like your guys' thing or whatever. And so he got me in it, and so that's how it became the five of us. And
Oh,
then
okay.
and then it just kind of been a mutual thing, trying to post mutually. Adam's been kind of taken over a little bit, and
Yeah.
a lot of his posts have been taken off, which has been super awesome. But yeah, it's no, it's been good. It's kind of just, I guess, a spot for all of us to kind of spread a little more knowledge, I guess, and kind of, I guess, give back to the community a little bit.
Yeah, that was really cool because I think I had Adam on here as one of my first guests, right? Because I was doing this show just for the heck of it for YouTube, and then I was doing it by myself, and then like people were starting to ask, can we see so and so, so and so, and Adam was one of the ones that I wanted to have on here, and then like I started like following each one of you, like I started finding you guys, and then like the next thing I know, you all are in a group together, and I was like, whoa, okay, and then like your visionary account has really started to take off too on TikTok and on Instagram, and it's amazing because people, uh, a lot of young people are looking here online, right, and they're looking for help or motivation, stuff like that. Because even I get questions about people that are getting into the trade, and I feel like we kind of do need to help them a little bit more or show them more. um, I don't know, like tips and tricks, and just I know the memes are good too. So I know you guys do a little bit of everything, and I think it helps a lot of the young guys.
No, yeah, I mean that was kind of, I guess, the whole idea behind it. Just to try and, how I always looked at it, like even growing up, like I looked at even any of the trades, and not just the trades, just construction almost like, as just, these guys are just angry or sore all the time. And, what I mean, like it's a rough life, but I mean, it just kind of gets a bad rap sometimes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good things to it. I mean, you don't want to be at the bottom of the totem pole anywhere forever. But yeah, like it's definitely not as rough as I thought it was going to be, or bad as it really is. It's treating me well. I mean, I enjoy going to work every day. I don't think a lot of people could say that.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's been good.
Well, that's cool. All of you guys are a good group of guys. Glad to see that you all did that because I feel like we did need that a little bit. And just in general, I'm glad that the community is growing and we have more people that are helpful rather than going and picking on people in the comments and ripping them apart. Because that was another thing, right? I had when I started, it was kind of when I started like my Instagram and stuff. I mean, I knew there's people out there that are like that. I stay away from Facebook, so I've heard that one is like the worst one.
Yeah.
Um, but even I got comments on things that I did, and I'm like, okay, like if I did something wrong or if I did something, what you think is bad, can you please tell me or tell me how to like a better way to do it or tell me what I did wrong. I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm all for criticism and stuff like that, but don't just be there and say that it's shit or something and then like leave it at that.
Yeah, there's a couple guys, I'm not even gonna say their names, but they instead of commenting on my post, and they're big name guys, and instead of commenting on the post and making it publicly known what I messed up, or what I could have done differently, they would message me, privately, and address that, like, hey, you do this next time, or could have done this way. And that was big to me, because I've my boss has posted like my work on our Facebook, and you
Hmm.
get our local like town trolls, and what they do
Yeah.
is like, why'd you put snow risers on that unit on the deck? And I'm like, it still gets snow on the deck, like it's
Yeah.
so just you always get those trolls out there. But I haven't seen it as much, honestly, on Instagram, like everyone says. It's
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
it's been
pretty
good.
decent.
Yeah, it's been good, and even like because different places have different codes and the way they do things, and they're like, ripping it apart for something, and then they're like, well, or the person is like, it's well, that's code here, or that's how we do
Yeah.
things here. Everybody's different, but they like to criticize no matter what.
Yep.
All right, I think they're talking about the next award show in the chat over there. Let me see. So I know you're still kind of young, but I had a question on the Instagram about, I don't know if you take care of your body at work. Like, do you do the knee pads? Do you do anything to kind of preserve yourself? Or are you still like,
So
I'm young, I'm gonna do whatever?
no, I've never really been that way. I'm big with the wearing respirators.
Oh yeah, okay.
Um, that's like one thing that I'm big about. I have knee pads. I'm just not very good about wearing them all the time. I
Yeah, I'm the
just,
same.
sometimes I just jump into it and then I'm already doing something, and by the time, and sometimes I got little legs, so the knee pads sometimes slide right off my legs. But
Yeah, man.
uh, but no, I wear a respirator. I screwed up my back a couple years ago, and it still hasn't been the same. Like I've gotten cortisone shots, I've done physical therapy. It's just kind of always gotten to this feels like it went back to like 75%, never really fully back. So that's like the one thing, I'm cautious about a little bit too, like
Yeah.
how I'm lifting and stuff now. But
Now was
thankfully I
was
don't.
that was that work related or something else?
It was work related. It was actually just going down to pick up like a tool. It wasn't doing anything physically. It was like going down to pick up a tool, and I think I like twisted or something, and it just
Oh,
like it was just and it see kind of like was real. It's like I kind of was tense or whatever for maybe a week or two, and then it went away, and then it just never like I was like something's not right. Like I've always been, able to move, and now it just kind of feel like a little bit of age with it, but it's
yeah.
not terrible.
Yeah, I get you. I was just wondering because, like, in our trade, we try to do a lot of things. We'll lift up condensers or different type of equipment, and we probably shouldn't be doing it. And everybody thinks they're Superman at one point, and things can happen. But I feel you. I used to play sports. I used to play basketball like every day. I have bad knees. I had surgeries and whatnot. So now I'm also like, and one of them or one of the major ones happened. After I was in the trade for a couple of years. So I had to
Mm.
like recover and all that. And then when I got back into it, I'm like, oh, I'm like a little iffy on things, like a little more cautious of how I lift and all that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from. Let me check real quick. All right, let me look at the questions again. Um, so I know there's a lot of stress at work and stuff like that comes with the job. Do you think you do a good job of separating work and then after work, your family time, stuff like that? Is there any hobbies that you have to try and get away from work or get your mind off of it?
I golf here and there. I Not much. Just friends and family a little bit. But I mean I have a decent work-life balance. Like my boss that I work for now, like or the company I work for, like it's very laid back. Like I'm not like I'm always getting my 40 hours, but I'm not getting, working crazy long hours that, during the week or anything crazy. Or, the only times we're really working the weekends is whether it's emergency calls or if we got to squeeze somebody in. It's not just, constantly taking on Saturday call or Saturday installs or anything like that.
Okay, so they balance it out really well for you guys because I think that's one thing that a lot of the companies need to realize because like even with us, we're small too. Um, at first we were taking on too much work, and we were working our guys, and myself included, like too much to where mistakes happen, or you rush things, and it's not done right, or it's not finished properly. So it's always good when a company realizes that and kind of make sure that the balance, or they help balance it for them, because the last thing you want to do is be working 24/7, or taking that home with you, because you have a family, kids, and what are they going to remember you for? Just being at work all the time, or being grumpy when you get home. So I'm glad that your company sees that.
Yeah, yeah, I just think my boss, he worked on the other side of that coin, and just drove more than he probably worked during the day. Like he had a long commute to and from work, and he said he just never got home to see his kids and stuff. And he said he would just, wouldn't make his text, unless we had to, do something. But he wouldn't make his text just, miss out on that time because, it's
Sure.
valuable time.
Yeah, man. So what tool bag do you rock?
So I rock a Vito. It's the backpack. I can't remember exactly which one it is, but it's like a Weehaw version. And then I also
Oh,
have a
yeah.
few. And then I have the Weehaw. I want to say it's the first TPXL with like the
Okay.
flip top.
Yeah.
Um, I have that one as like my service bag, and that kind of carries my meter and my my insulated tools. And then I have like a almost like a tote style Milwaukee bag, and that just got all my metal stuff in it. But
Gotcha.
I like the Vitas a lot. Just
Yeah, I'm happy
quality.
to see that they're like, because like around me, I never saw them like at the supply house. They always had like the CLC ones,
Yep, yep.
and I had a couple of them rip on me, and I was like looking for something a few years ago. Super happy to find Vito, and now I'm starting to see them at the supply house. I think guys are, because before it's like, oh, I'm not paying that for a tool bag or whatever, but now it's like, yeah, you're gonna rip that $100 one, or whatever, however much it is, over and over, and you're gonna keep buying it, or you can just buy a Vito and be done with it. They last. I have a few of them too. They last, like, it seems like they last forever.
Oh, and yeah, I've had friends like the pouches bust out and stuff like that, and as long as it's within their warranty or even close, I think they're even
Oh
a little
yeah,
flexible with it. Um, and they've replaced that whole pouch and stuff like that, and pretty much look like a brand new bag again. So you pay for that warranty a little bit too, like anything.
yeah, they're great. I did send one back, or I claimed a warranty, and no hassle. Um, did you get to go to their booth at the AHR?
I did.
Did you talk
Um,
to Roger or anybody?
no, I didn't. We went kind of on like I think it was the last day, so I think it was almost at the end, I think,
Oh,
too. So
okay.
they're kind of like packing up a little bit.
Man, if you ever get to talk to him, he loves to chat, and he'll tell you about his story, upcoming with the tool bags and stuff, and I love listening to it. I hung out there for a bit, talked to them. Their design team is great. I've had a chance to work with them, and kind of discuss design stuff and all that. So it's a great company for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. We're at 51 minutes. I'm just gonna go through my questions real quick.
Yeah.
And if you guys have any questions in the chat, make sure to put them in caps so I can see them. I see people talking about tacos and pepperonis. I guess everybody's thinking about dinner right now. Um, let's see. Are there any tools that you recommend? I mean, press is probably one of them, but any other tools that you kind of can't be without, or you think are worth recommending?
Um, Not really anything too specific. I'm sure everyone's kind of on the same page with, what tools are kind of hot. I do
Yeah. Do
like
you?
that they're German made. NWS is the company, but they make a lot of these like hand tools. And there's one set of tools. It's like a high leverage set of diagonal cutters, and
Oh,
like
okay.
it's weird how it works, but I guess it gives you like a lot, I mean, more leverage to like cut through like, you can cut through 6 wire or anything in just one like solid tool. So it's kind of, those are my go-to. But anything else, it's
Do
almost all the
you,
same.
yeah, do you like with the press, you told your boss, that you press everything and that's for convenience and, to save you time and stuff like that. So are you the type of guy that goes out there looking for these like tools that help you out? Like, do you have any of the NAVAC stuff?
No, I've seen it and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, me and my boss have talked about getting it. I just haven't really like, pulled the trigger on getting it yet. It's hard for me to justify it as like a personal purchase right now.
sure.
Um, but I mean, if he bought it or something, but some of the old school guys are just tough to, get these, new tools on, and I think it
And
was,
which one were you like eyeing? Because they have
I
several now.
think we wanted the flaring tool.
The flaring tool.
Yeah, flaring tool.
I just picked that one up and I used it today. Like I said, I
Yeah.
had to change out. For me, I use the flares for the dryers. So like on refrigeration equipment,
Yeah.
instead of taking my torch up there just for the dryer, because I wasn't doing anything in the condenser. I was just changing out the evap coil and wiring that up and all that. I was like, I don't have to take my torches up there. I think that's the one thing that we all hate, lugging
Yep.
around. So I was like, let me get this flaring tool because I was trying to decide, between a few different tools that I wanted. And I was like, no, I'm gonna go for this one. So like today, that piece of cake. I had the press tool and the flaring tool, and I absolutely loved it. And I feel like you said, like I know it's hard to convince, all these older guys. And I had a flaring block that I use, because I hardly did flares. I don't really do the mini split type of work,
Mhm.
but like one, I feel like all these tools, once you get them and you start using them, it's like it's a whole different story. Because now I'm like, wow, like I'm gonna be pressing as much as I can, using the flare tool whenever I can. It just gives me a better peace of mind too, because I don't have to worry about that or get myself tired. I work on really high roofs to take that damn torch set up there.
Yep.
And oh man, sorry. And what got you started in the press tool? I don't think I asked you.
Just the company I was at when I first started, that's just what they use, and I thought it was like the normal. Like, I mean,
Oh,
yeah, like I really did. Like, I thought that was just like the normal. That's all we used for like all of our, it was really just our mini split stuff. They didn't really use it on, your bigger pipe for, your uh, regular ducted air handlers or anything like that. They
oh,
were
okay.
just using it primarily for like the mini splits. But no, yeah, that was they just got me into it, and then when I came to my other company, he had kind of no idea about it, so it was, you know,
Yeah, like you said, well, like you said when you were talking to your boss about getting it. Like around here where I'm at, I'm not in a big area. I'm in a small, town in Texas, and nobody knows about it. Nobody uses it. And when I walked into, because I go to Johnstone for my stuff, and I started buying like the push fittings because I do a lot of like small coolers, under counter coolers and stuff in hospitals, or they don't want me using a flame or anything like that.
yeah,
So then I saw these push fittings because they started carrying like the Sporland stuff, and I was like, okay, let me try those out. I kind of did a test on them first. I kind of hooked up a little rig and pressure tested it and made sure that nothing funny happened with them. And then I tried them out at the hospital, and those have been working. I think those are already like at a year, and the unit's still working fine. No leak on any of them. Now I probably wouldn't use those on bigger equipment. I think I'm
yeah,
gonna strictly use those on like small coolers, and then use like the actual press tool on bigger equipment. But yeah, they were like, yeah, you're the only one that comes in here and buys them. I was like, really? It's like nobody else or everybody will ask about them, but nobody purchases them. And then I want to say a couple months ago, I walked in there and I saw a guy buying a press, like a toolkit, and I think they said that was the first one that they actually sold because like nobody wants to do it around here.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm glad that I'm seeing more of it. Um, you know, they deal with Sporlin, but I get to order all my RLS stuff if I need it. They can get it because that's the one that I ended up getting. And like I said, RLS is pretty good about everything. I'm sure you've talked to Paul and all of them. They stand behind their product, so that's the one thing that I think is great is uh, they stand behind it, and we use it in the field, and we know if it works or not.
Yeah, and everybody at RLS, like their entire like design team and the engineering team, like those guys like care about that product, and they really really want to see it succeed too. So it was neat seeing their thoughts about it and stuff, and those guys just they knew what pressures that thing was going to burst at, and I mean it went up to like 30. I think there's like 3,100 psi or something. I mean it's
Yeah,
just
it's crazy the tests
it's
that they do.
insane. um but yeah, like everybody there really does care about that product, and they got definitely a strong little team over there. So
Yeah, it's cool. Like I said, I used it today. Piece of cake. That's stuff. I had so many other issues to worry about because it was an older system trying to match everything up, get all the wiring right, and all that. So one less thing that I have to worry about is dragging those. And I feel like they get heavier every year. I just don't want to grab them anymore. I have the whole oxyacetylene
that's
setup,
what
and
I
I
got too. Yeah.
I bought that like that turbo torch one, and I do like it. The single tank setup,
Yeah.
but it's loud as hell, and
Yep.
then like it gives off a lot of heat. So like I try only to use it like on the rooftop or outside because I do a lot of work like in kitchens and stuff, and I can't use that in there.
Yeah. No, yep. I'm actually not that good with just the
Oh, I think you muted yourself.
yep.
Oh,
Oh, there we
yeah.
go. Yeah, no, I just was taught on oxyacetylene, and it's even hard for me to go to a turbo torch now. It just feels
we
like I'm on the pipe way too long.
yeah we had one in the warehouse. I think one of the guys tried it out and didn't end up liking it or something, and I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot. It takes some getting used to, but I got it. It's just I don't like the amount of heat that it gives off because like
Yeah.
I've burnt stuff behind the line that I'm working on. I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah.
like it's a lot of heat.
Yeah.
Ryan Hughes man in the house. Did you have a question? I didn't see it. I'm just gonna look through the chat real quick. If you guys have any questions before we sign off. How that single tank? Oh, the single tank is a turbo torch. Um, I'm working on it. I don't know because I'm trying to figure out how to carry it around, so I'm working on that. And I hate I try to downsize everything that I can. I got into the Milwaukee packouts and putting everything in that, so we'll see.
So I think they do make that turbo torch makes that like carrying case with the like the L-shaped handle at the top maybe for it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
What's
yeah.
what size tank do you have? Is it the real big one or the
No, it's a
small?
little one. The one you
Yeah.
have because I try to keep extras and that I can swap it into my oxyacetylene or that one. Um, so yeah, I've been trying to figure it out because I know there's that one, and I think they make one, but it's like I think it's pricey. It's like I want to say it has wheels or something on it. It has a
Yeah, I
whole
think
handle and stuff like that.
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna let the chat get this question in. They want to know, do you wear Crocs?
No, never have, never will.
It's just it's a running joke in the chat. I'm pretty sure they were talking about vegans and I don't know. I get so lost in this chat, man. They go off the rails sometimes.
It's funny.
Yeah. So before we get off, do you have any advice? Anything that can help? Maybe some guys, new guys starting out, maybe from your experience.
Um, Nothing, out of the ordinary or anything, but just, take in what you can. Like, don't get overwhelmed because it's pretty overwhelming trade. Like, it took me a good 3 years before I could start really, like, going out and doing stuff on my own, efficiently. So don't be, it's not a race. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, man, and like you, like having you guys on here from the Visionary group, like I didn't even know that Anwar was on his own already, and like you guys are killing it at a young age. Like I'm glad that you guys, because for me it didn't click at that age. Now I did get my license. I want to say it was around 26, so I didn't wait too long, but like
Yeah.
I was not comfortable because I started when I was 20. Like it took me like that 5 years or so to get comfortable. Whereas you're saying, maybe it's like 3 years for you. Because I just, I was just collecting a check. I didn't really care too much. I wish it would have clicked a little quicker. So that's that. Like you said, that's kind of the thing that I want um, to sign off on with the young guys. Is like, yeah, it's not a race. You don't start at the top. All that kind of stuff. But just if you're gonna get in the trade, be the best that you can. Learn after work. Uh, be better every day. Because it could pass you by, and then you're like you said, you don't want to be at the bottom of the totem pole. You want to work your way up, and that's the only way that you get that better pay raise, pay bump, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've seen it. This trade's what you make of it too.
Exactly, man. I'll let Jen sneak one in. Do you like vegans or carnivores? I don't know what.
I don't even know what the answer to that one. Just gonna pass.
Are you married?
No. Nope.
No. Okay, you're not vegan then, right?
No.
All right, I don't know. That's another one that comes in, and I have no idea what that one's about. All right, man. I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, I might invite the group or whoever can
Yeah. I'm
after
down.
summer.
So
After summer, after everything calms down. I know everybody's been busy. Um, Even myself trying to get through this. I don't know why everybody wants to do the change outs right now. Everybody, like, I gave them a warning ahead of time and they're like, oh, now
yeah,
it's not working right. Can you change it out now? So I like, man, like it's piling
that's how
up.
it goes.
Yeah, you know how it goes.
So
All right, guys. So follow Garret G Tour, right? G Tour HVAC,
G
or how do you say
Tori.
that?
Yeah,
G
Tori.
Tour.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask you that before the
You're
show.
good. You're good. You're good.
G Tory HVAC. Instagram. Are you anywhere else or just Instagram?
No, just Instagram right now.
So follow him on Instagram. Check him out. He does amazing install work. Also on HVAC Visionaries, and that one is Instagram and TikTok. Funny stuff, tech tips, all that good stuff. And yeah, we're gonna sign off. I'm gonna cue the outro music. You can stick around or you can take off. I gotta wait for it to end. All right, man. See you. See everybody. Thanks for coming out. Peace.